Good afternoon, Life Off the Bench family. Man, happy but sad day. I've been dreading this moment really all day. Uh, man, it's the season finale of season two. It's been a great 9 weeks. 1 week we just didn't have a show, I think, and we took off for Mother's Day, and for 10 weeks we took off. We had a Mother's Day show. We didn't have a Father's Day show, and we just took off 1 week. So because too many people were traveling, and so sometimes that's just how it works when people in multiple states. Joining us right now, though, are two regular panelists. Uh, Center is Grayson Girl One. Hey, Grayson Girl One, how are you today? Uh, to the right, everybody's favorite coach. I like the way she chunked them deuces up there smooth, coach. What's up, bro? How you doing this evening?
Just waking up from a nap, so I'm good.
A great nap, huh? Getting that snack in, I see.
Yep.
Man.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do this. Let's add Chad back. We took Chad off because he was off doing something he should have been doing. Hey, what's up, Chad? Welcome. Season finale.
There you go. That's what's up. What's happening, everybody?
I don't know. Can y'all hear me pretty good, man? I might need to turn the volume up a little bit. So back by popular demand, it's what's going on Sunday without the music. What's going on Sunday without the music? I don't want to do anything to further get us penalized for having music. Again, what's going on Sunday was brought about by panelists and Pastor Anise a couple of weeks ago. It had really great response, and so everybody asked to do it again because it was really cool. I know I really enjoyed it, and it was we hit some real serious situational stories, and tonight we're going to do the same as well. And so since we're missing a couple of panelists again tonight, I got two topics I can talk about. One is probably not going to be so popular, and the other one is going to be even less popular. But we'll start tonight's show off with Grayson Girl One. What's your topic, Grayson Girl One?
I don't got no topic. I don't even want to talk. I don't keep up with. No, I'm just joking. I kind of been talking about this all week because it's a lot going on in this world. We've had several mass killings going on around the world. And the age-old saying, a bullet does not have a name on it when it comes out of the weapon that's being used to shoot it. And, we hear a lot of talk about gun laws, gun bans. Is it the gun or is it the person carrying the gun? And what can we do to prevent so many mass murders, killings?
Coach Eddie.
No, what I'm gonna do is piggyback tonight because it's just so much going on. So I'm just gonna piggyback tonight. I promise you, I'm gonna have plenty to say on any topic y'all bring up. So
no, I'm sorry. This wasn't your turn to discuss your topic. This was your turn to speak on Grayson Girls One's topic.
Okay, then. Well, I mean, as a matter of fact, well, man, I just right now for us, man, I'm so big on character development, Chad. That anytime we bring up the symptoms of things, my answer is always going to be the same. You know, I mean, mass shootings, whatever it is, abortion, whatever. It's our people, and right now we just, as a country, as a society, we just don't have a moral compass. And then those of us on this panel, we all say that we're people of faith. And we know right now we just living in the era, man, where folks just don't care. They just don't care, and it's what we're feeding ourselves. The music, the movies, music videos, unlimited access to social media for children. Their minds are, they can have access to anything that they want. We're in the era of the, I'm 40 and still got it. And so you got mothers and dads who, when they had kids young, so now they're in their 40s and they trying to go back and get their teen years. When that's over with, and they're not raising our kids. So I'm always going to go back to, the character development. So whatever issue it is, there go Pastor. Hey, Pastor.
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
And so for me, that's where I'm always going to go back to the fundamentals of the adults teaching the children how they should behave. So that's why I'm at.
Oh my.
Chadwick.
He on mute.
It's funny we're talking about this subject because my topic is going to be kind of a division of that as it relates to school security. But on topic, we're talking about what can we do about it with these mass shootings. On the practical side of it, we could talk to our lawmakers, and make our voice known of where we stand and tell them what it is that we feel needs to be done, or get some insight on what they are doing, because I think the worst thing for us to do is to go out and spew stuff and be misinformed as to what really is going on or what is the real issue at hand. Because everybody is concerned. Everybody's concerned about security. Everybody is concerned about going to the grocery store and being able to shop in peace and harmony. Everybody's concerned about our children going to school and coming back home the same way that they left. Everybody's concerned about all these things. So, we as a community, in whatever community that you live in, need to, form coalitions and allies with our law enforcement, with each other, to be and keep our eyes wide open, because all these things, it just wasn't a happenstance. They just happened. There was some signs and different things. Is a lot of times we just close our eyes to them, or we like, that ain't my kid, or that ain't my that ain't my situation. So we just need to be vigilant, and we need to pay attention, and then seek out help for, do what we can to help those who are in crisis. So that's my take on it. We just got to keep our eyes open. We got to pay attention, and we need to talk to the people who can make changes that's necessary for us to stay safe. Even if it's us, and talking to our kids about stuff to pay attention to, stuff to steer clear of, and those types of things. It's just unfortunate, and I don't know. I'm not sitting up here saying that anybody did anything wrong, but if we could just teach the people around us to pay attention, things maybe a little better for us, maybe.
Right, I agree with that, bro. Anise, so Grace and Girls, one topic for tonight is about all the mass shootings that are happening around the country and what can be prevented. What can we do to help prevent future mass shootings from happening? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Oh, I do. I have a plethora. I have advocacy. I have, in addition to advocacy, I have the need for us to educate, and not only educate, but to be vigilant. Vigilant. Am I saying that word correctly? I hope so. But not only that, we need to inform each other as well as the students and empower them with the skills to speak out um, for each other. So that's where I began with the advocate, because they are more aware of what's going on with each other than we are when I say that. And so give them the ability to have advocacy for themselves and be able to say, hey, my boy Sean is going through something and I feel this way about it. These are the thoughts that I have about it. And this is what it stirs up within me, in order for them to say, no, it's not just some letter. It's not just this. And for him to be able to come back and say, hey, what did you do about Sean? What did you say about Sean? That's not enough. Sean got pissed at me, but it's not enough, because I know that Sean has 5 AK-47s locked and loaded, and there's the potential for something deeper to happen. So the advocacy comes in, the informing them that there's always more that they can do or say, and that we are here to do that. And if we are ill-equipped or ill-informed, then we need to be able to educate or become educated on the topics of mental health. And of course, I dare not leave that out, but on mental health, on issues that lead up to that, such as traumas, such as family systems, such as sexual abuse, such as abuse, misuse, neglect, and look for those warning signs within the homes and families where there are breakdowns, and even in education and school systems, to whereas it alerts us when there are signs in which there may indicate another individual in need of help. And I probably said too much already, but that's where I am with that.
And so I want to say, Anise said a whole lot into my thoughts behind it. There's a campaign that's going around different companies and agencies now. See something, say something. And I think we're not saying enough of what needs to be said, and we're saying a lot about the after effects of how to handle. But we need to know how to handle in the interim, in the beginning. Like she said, Sean saw the signs in his friend. He read the warning letter. A couple of these guys, they said they put out a manifesto letter and people saw it. So did you not take them seriously when they wrote these letters? Did you not have any type of inclination that these people were capable of committing the acts that they talk about? Because generally when people speak about something, especially if they're passionate about it, when I write something down, pen to paper, man, I got journals everywhere. And when I put pen to paper, I'm expecting to see it manifest somewhere. That's why they call them manifestos. And so in this day and this time, we got so much going on, so many people dealing with so many things in the homes, outside the homes, in schools, on the playground, basketball court. And we got to be able to watch for the signs, not just the educators, the parents, but just when we were growing up, if you did something and the neighbor told on you, you was in trouble several times by the neighbor, by mama, and in our case, by granddaddy. Everybody's getting a whooping. Whether you had a part to play in or not, you knew If he got in trouble, you almost bet I got in trouble with him because I knew, whether I knew or not.
Hmm.
And I think we have lost that village mentality
Yeah.
in this day and time. And we need to bring the village back to the neighborhood.
I,
I agree.
I,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I agree with all that wholeheartedly. And so I'm gonna add my final 2 cents to it, and one that is, in order to stop some of the violence that we're that's happening around the country today. Two mass shootings just happened in the last month. People know that people are planning to do things like this, and so you just got to open your mouth. Period. See something, say something. Say something, see something. Either way, mute your phone. Mute your thing, Nate. Either way, you have to be. Good evening, Bobby Baker. Thanks for watching the show tonight. But again, at the end of the day, somebody always knows when someone is about to commit a mass killing, shooting, whatever it's called, and it's horrible that you as a person know someone is planning something like this and don't say anything. Another thing is, it has to be more important than when a public official's child is raped or mangled or whatever the case may be, that then public officials are outraged. You got to care about the other person's child as well. That's somebody's mother, that's somebody's father, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's daughter. And I'm going to say this, and I know this is not going to be popular. If these rappers are out here, comedians, whoever are out here programming our kids to be thugs, to be gangsters, to be fake tough, then we don't need to support them by buying their music or listening to their music. They make money off of it either way. They make money off of it either way, whether we buy it or just listen to it on Apple Music, on Tidal, YouTube Music. What's the other one, Chad?
Spotify.
It doesn't matter what the streaming platform for music is. If we give them one listen, that's the equivalent to $25 every time somebody listens to it. They're making
Do we get
millions.
the ability to rebuttal to your comment or no?
Sure. If I'm saying
Okay.
something that's not right, of course.
Okay.
But they're making money off of it. If not, they wouldn't let you pay $9.99 a month and you listen to all the free music you want to listen to, if they weren't getting some out of it on the long term. But we must stop supporting people that don't support our children. We must stop supporting people that aren't doing right by the culture. Y'all screwing the culture so bad. Period. Y'all screwing the culture. The one that y'all say y'all love. But I guess that's fake love too. Drake might have been right when he made that song. But hey, who am I? Rebuttal, Pastor.
Well, I was going to remind you of how it is oftentimes generational, that each generation says that the music that is often played during one's youth, the music of one's youth, is often viewed negatively by the generation before it, and that it has the ability to brainwash, train, create these monsters. But whose responsibility is it to train up a child? I understand the community and it takes a village. I do understand that. But where does charity start? Come
I'm
on,
so
scripture. Give him the scripture, April. Charity starts at home and spreads abroad.
I'm so
Faith,
glad you
love, and
brought it up,
hope.
sis.
But the greatest of these is love.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So watch this right now. That statement was so true in the 70s, maybe in the 80s, but in the 90s, where both parents had to start working, in the 90s when the dad was no longer in the house, now parents that really care about their kids are working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. That went out the door because
Bullshit. I mean, excuse me, because you just made the past cuss because of the simple fact that that is malarkey.
it's
And
not
I just
malarkey.
realized
It's people's real life every day.
hold on. Before I was blessed, there were some years in which I was a single parent, and I had to contend with working not 1, not 2, but I worked 5 jobs at one time. You want me to count them and rattle them off for you?
No,
I worked 5.
you've
Listen,
never
I
been
worked
known
5
as a liar.
jobs. I worked 5 jobs and went to grad school full time, and had to contend with the fact that my child attended public school and was a latchkey kid and had friends that would call him what's his baby just said, square geek, whatever, because he
Mama's
used his
boy.
key, used the key, hit the door, stayed in that house. I'd call every hour and check, and I knew how hard it was. He'd finish that homework, and then that wasn't back in the day of FaceTime, but I knew instead of watching TV, he'd get on his knees, and we talking about a basketball fanatic, but he'd get on his knees and look, and his TV was getting on his knees, sitting at the window and watching his friends play outside.
So watch this. Let me hit you with this right here. I want to hit you.
And that was the rappers and the shooting and the gangs and the whatever. And my generation was all of us were supposed to be, lost and turned out and doing whatever. And I had Rick James.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with what you said at all, and I'm grateful, GRATEFUL, grateful that your story worked out great. But that's not everybody's reality. Everybody doesn't have the hustle and get up that you had.
I understand that.
To work 5 jobs.
I understand.
Everybody doesn't have the determination to change their quality of life.
I understand that.
And so, with that being said,
I understand
and we have 2 educators 2 long-term educators on the panel that'll tell you that most kids will tell you that they only come to school to eat because they're hungry.
I understand that. I was an educator. I was an educator and took food to the house.
So,
understood.
And not only that, most kids spend 8 hours a day at school and still don't get to see their parents when they get home. And so now they're being given words, thoughts, and actions by people that don't have their best interests at hand or at heart. They care nothing about putting these kids on the corner selling drugs. They care nothing about putting guns in these kids' hands and telling them, oh, let somebody talk smart to you and you don't do something, watch what I do to you. And because the people that do these type of things, allegedly, they have these kids so afraid that guess what? They're going to become shooters, as they're called in the streets. They're going to become killers. They're going to become domestic terrorists because they don't want the repercussions of what's going to happen to them in their small life at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. And so if you don't have the 2 parents in the house, these kids are in dire, desperate need of protection.
Isn't that
These
where community
kids,
comes in?
All right,
these
so
kids don't always have that person that says, "Come here, son, I love you." Now I don't just love you today. I'm gonna love you tomorrow. Go ahead, coach.
all right, so the one thing that I think is very important is that all of us have experiences that molded our perception. All of us have experiences that molded our perception, and we definitely can call it our truth. But for those of us on this panel, we all say that there is an absolute truth, and that's the word of God. Correct? We all agree, correct?
Amen.
All right.
I do.
So there's a scripture that says, "I wish above all things you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." So our soul, what is taught for me, and what I've learned over the years, is our emotional state. So that means that our prosperity in our life continues to come towards us as we grow emotionally. We do have something called emotional intelligence, emotional maturity. And so that means that there is a truth there that molds our emotions if we allow it to, and not let our experiences mold them. So I say that to say this: going in and pretty much really just piggybacking off what both of you said, because you're not wrong. Neither one of you are wrong in what you're thinking and what you're sharing, but there's an absolute truth. So I'm gonna go to what we say we're familiar with, and that's in Colossians chapter 3 of the Holy Bible.
Believer.
All right.
Okay.
So what it says, I'm gonna start at verse 13, where it says, "Forbearing one another, forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye." Matter of fact, let me read in a New Living Translation, a little more Americanized. "Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Above all, clothe yourselves in love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony." Now, is this answering some of our stuff? "And let the peace that comes from Christ rule in your hearts. For as many members of one body, you are called to live in peace and always be thankful." This is the last one I'm going to read, verse 16. "Let the message about Christ and all its richness fill your lives." Now, watch this. "Teach and counsel each other with all wisdom he gives. Sing," hold on, what it says, "sing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs to God with thankful hearts." Now, everything that God does, we know that the devil or Satan tries to do, he tries to mock that, right? So if the Bible tells us to sing songs and spiritual songs and hymns to teach each other, what do you think the enemy does? Let's go back to our day, Chad. When that song came on, it said "Tattle Club Up," what started happening?
Everybody got wild.
There you go. When that song said "Bump and Grind," what everybody started doing? When that song said "Hey" in the middle of the barn, that's our day. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I got older as a teacher, I heard a kid, I was out of the rap game, and I heard a kid walk in my gym. He was yelling, "I smoke, I drink, I'm supposed to stop, but I can't." I say, "What?" Y'all see what I'm saying? So what happens is that the one thing, when you put music to any message, it's gonna teach you something. And if you don't have a filter, for me, in my era, I lived in Queensboro. You had the Bloods was hard, wearing the khaki Dickie suits. And my dad, I wanted to buy a khaki Dickie suit. And my dad had said, "Boy, you ain't wearing no Dickie suit." I know what that means. So what did I just say? My father. See, we put so much emphasis on community. Right now, I told y'all, I'm going to go back to this. We have 10,000 instructors, but not many fathers. We don't have enough examples in our homes, and so we're trying to supplement that. And that's okay. We got to do what we got to do. But if you don't have somebody in your life to filter out, every last one of us in here did some stuff we shouldn't have, and had parents and had parents or that taught us. So we knew we was sneaking to do the stuff and we was wrong. Guess what? Now they ain't sneaking. They do it right in your face.
Right.
I'm sitting in a basketball game. I'm sitting in a basketball game and kids just cussing and talking crazy like grown folk ain't sitting there. I'm like, hey, bro, what's your problem? Because they're not getting it at home. Because our kids now are sitting in the house with their parents smoking.
Right.
They sit in their house drinking. I know this for a fact. I know I done taught girls who would hip them and their mama was sleeping with the same man, getting in fights.
Whoa.
Yes, sir. So the thing about it is that what you're saying, Hobart, is correct. But Anise, also what you're saying is too, because that's an experience. But there is a truth there. If you put any message, any type of music, and you listen to it long enough, that thing will get inside of you. Period. Right. And if you don't have adult influence in your life to help you balance that out, you're gonna act that thing out. Period. So there always is something that's a filter there for us to pick and choose. Because guess what? We humans. We gonna mess up. We gonna keep on messing up. But then we gotta have a moral compass. It's gotta be something there. You know, just like even now, I'm gonna add this, you know, and I'm gonna shut up after this. We have people that question, I had sex for marriage, but do I supposed to teach people to do that? No. You know what I'm saying? I had the experience. That don't mean just because my wife and I made it, don't mean that you gonna make it. You see what I'm saying? I gotta teach you what's right, and also be there to support you even when you make mistakes. So right now, guys, you know, I'm along with both of you on that. But ultimately, you put any message to music, if you don't have adult influence in your life to help you, you're gonna act that thing out.
Hey, so you guys, we're waiting on her to come in. We've added her to the screen. So I just did it tonight because I wanted to see how cool it was gonna be. We're gonna be adding 2 new segments to the show. One is called From the Desk of ABD Law. Attorney Alan Davis will be on starting next season weekly to give us points on the law. And the other one is, which I'm extremely excited about, is nurse practitioner Raven Campbell Smith started her own practice. And let me help y'all out and help myself out as well. And so this is Premier Health and Wellness Clinic Dr. Raven Campbell Smith. She'll be a regular from tonight going forward. When we come back to season 3, Dr. Campbell Smith will be in the building weekly. I'm super ecstatic by it. Welcome to the family, Dr.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you. I called. You could have told me to chime in a little earlier so I could have got the juice of everything. I just came in about 10 minutes ago, and I'm telling you, all those songs you were saying, I was like, oh, I remember. Thank you, Lord. I remember. So I guess we all around the same age. All of them, you was hitting every song, and I'm like, Lord, thank you. I've grown.
Yes.
So I think it's great to be here tonight. Hobart, no, I'm the type of, I hate talking in front of people. But this is for a great cause, and it's all about educating and especially our people. But educating our people, getting good information out so that we can be one step ahead of everybody or on the same playing field with everyone. But again, I'm not a doctor. I'm a nurse practitioner. My name's Raven Campbell Smith. I have a clinic, Premier Health and Wellness in Natchez, Mississippi. I'm also the county's nurse practitioner. So I take care of the inmates here in Adams County, the inmates and juvenile detainees. So definitely, Coach Eddie, what you were saying, you know, with the kids and where it starts, I mean, all of that was just hitting home because I see it on a daily basis, taking care of detainees. But I was trying to decide what I wanted to just briefly talk on tonight. And I know we're tired of hearing about it, but COVID is where I wanted to just start And if you guys want to give me anything that you guys want to hear on the upcoming meetings or whatever, y'all just let me know. But I was talking to my coworkers, and we've been getting a ton of new cases of COVID. And we know that it's been a battle for the last couple of years, but we got to remember that it is still alive and well. Whether it's a conspiracy theory, as people say, and it's, population control, all the things that we do here, but it's something, a virus that has targeted our people, if no one else. And that leading back to just being immunocompromised. A lot of us as African Americans, we're overweight, we have diabetes, we have hypertension, and we have those things, especially Black males. Let me say, you guys are my most difficult patients. Just because it's like my brother tell me, and if I get sick, I go to the ER. But we have to change that standard. We have to change that, and knowing that preventive medicine is the way to go. If you can go to the doctor once a year to get your lab work, to get all that, once a year will do it. Now, if you have some elements that's abnormal, you're going to have to come back. But we, as a community, we want to wait until we get sick to go get checked out. We have insurance. Most of us have some kind of insurance if we're working. So, and insurance is paid for at least one visit, one wellness visit where you can get your blood work, all of that for free. That's like, well, most insurance companies, it's mandatory that you get that one visit where you get everything done for free, like your lab work, any kind of, if you need an EKG or whatever that workup requires. But back to jumping on target with COVID, just the plain preventative things that we've been seeing, that we've been trying to pound in people's heads over the last year or so, 2 years, making sure that we're protecting our elderly and our young people because they're our most vulnerable people. Just doing thorough hand washing, getting your vaccine. I know it is a lot of uncertainty about the vaccine, but I tell a lot of people this: we are the United States of America. If we cannot create a vaccine in 5 months, who really are we? I know everybody's saying that's so fast, but when you think about technology and the advancements in medicine we've done, we should be able to do that with the resources we have. People try to compare, it's too fast, and I get it, because I'm the type, I don't just push medicine. I believe lifestyle modifications, and then if that doesn't work, then you do the medication. But we should be able to do anything in this industrialized country in 3 to 6 months, to be honest. If we are who we say we are, let me just say that. But all of my guidelines come from the CDC with, like I said, with the hand washing, getting vaccinated. If you're not going back to the 6 feet, make sure you guys, if it's not your immediate family, because I know I've been getting lax, I always just wear my mask. When I'm not around people that I know, and I know the mask, trust and believe the masks were horrible. I mean, it makes my nose run, and I know I'm not making it up. Like a lot of people, like, it makes me feel horrible. But I know it's not just about protecting me; it's about protecting, the next person. Especially, you don't know exactly what they have going on. Let's see, I have any other. I always just pull like little facts because, like I said, I'm in Mississippi, but the bridge separates us right from Louisiana. So we're a medium risk, meaning that the chances of getting COVID is like medium, low, medium, high. So you can check your risk for your actual county that you're in or parish by going to the CDC, and you can type it in and it'll let you know like all your numbers, where you guys are, the population that's vaccinated and all of that. If you can get all that information online. Let's see what else I got. Well, that's pretty much it. I didn't want to just bombard you guys too much with numbers, but I can say COVID is definitely, it's never went away, but I've definitely been seeing more cases. So we have things and birthday parties and all stuff that we should still do. We just got to be a little bit more precautious than what we were in the past.
Right.
So, have any questions or concerns?
So for the person that's still skeptical about getting the vaccine, what lifestyle adjustments, or whole treatments or whatever medicines, things that they can do to still kind of help with, development and the strengthening of their immune system.
That's it.
So what are some steps?
You answered and you asked and answered. That's the thing. If you do have your skepticism about the vaccine, which is completely, like I said, I don't push it on anyone. But what you want to do is you want to increase or boost your immune system. That means to get on. If you can get a 1-a-day vitamin and like a men's vitamin or a woman's vitamin. I'm 40, and I take a women's vitamins for 65 and older because it has all the nutrients in it. So you don't have to get one specifically for your age. Just get a vitamin. I would say do your vitamin C. Those little emergency packs. There's nothing wrong, even if you're not feeling bad. Just drinking some of that emergency. Just building your immune system. If you're having a cold or cough, go ahead and treat it. Don't let it. We come from tough ancestors. We believe that we're gonna get through it. So go ahead and jump on that little basic cold, so your body won't be more susceptible to other infections. But like you said, drinking your water, increasing your vitamin C, taking a vitamin, that'll help your immunity.
Right. So we want to thank nurse practitioner Raven Campbell Smith for her first installment of From the Nurse.
Appreciate you.
And
thank you so much. Thank you.
Again, Premier Health and Wellness Clinic, 300 Highland Boulevard, Suite B.
Yes, sir.
Natchez, Mississippi. The phone number is 601-304-2421. If you have any medical needs, and as always, in a medical emergency, call 911 or make it to the ER.
Yes, sir.
Sis, you're welcome to stay on and be a part of the panel if you want. We got a couple of more conversations that we're going to have, but we still have questions from the audience as well. So again, we want to Bobby Baker out of the Shreveport area said, hello, everyone. Also, Kenyatta Skaggs said hi. So hi, Kenyatta. And also Meditra J, who we need to see about getting Meditra a Life Off the Bench shirt, courtesy of Life Off the Bench. Because she's been with us since we began, and she's been a faithful viewer, and I believe in rewarding loyalty. So, Meditra, if you could just type your shirt size in the comment, and we'll figure out how to get it to you. Also,
good job.
Also as well, Meditra made a great point in sometimes two parents in the house doesn't influence the child.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to comment or speak on that? And as always, we go to the new introee, who is Dr.
Oh, come on. You know I'm confident a bit, but I digress. I will bow. I will take a bow.
I know you're ready. That's why I like for you to go last.
I'm trying to be mellow because I'm doing a couple of things.
You be like this right here, sis. So Raven, what you got for that thought?
For that about the two parents.
Yes, sometimes two parents.
I agree.
Influence the child.
That's true. It is coordinated. I mean, it's a case by case basis. I learned that real early on that one thing that works for one kid won't work for another. And it's according to how their relationship, because you can have two toxic parents in a house that's really tearing a kid apart. So
child.
That's true. Again, it's a case by case. You just have to, and that's where I know it's just in the house is where we need to start, but that's where these other resources like the big brothers and big sisters and counseling and all of that come into place. So you can see specifically, what that kid needs, because it's not a open and closed book. It's not cookie cutter. What you need, I may not need, and vice versa. But that's true.
Oh, y'all, excuse me real quick, 1 second. In honor of tonight's final show, I had to pull out my beer mug.
Oh my God!
And so I'm drinking Mountain Beer Duke. Mountain Beer
Mountain?
Dew. That's what
Well, we
gonna
don't
call
have
it.
It was
any.
Mountain Dew.
Huh?
Where's our cup? Why we don't have any? You should have told y'all to grab a glass.
hey, so this was free 30. I'm borrowing it from my sister, but calling it my own.
Oh my
And
God.
so, you probably don't know this, Raven, but the lady in the middle on the top, that's my sister by birth, same mother, same father. The young lady to the bottom right is my sister by my brother. Her husband, who's also a part of the panel. We've been friends for close to 35 years.
Okay.
And
Wow.
we've tolerated each other. he gonna call me about that one, y'all. He's tolerated me for a long time.
Hey.
We tolerated each other.
So
better
hey,
Call them now.
We're gonna make
Hey.
sure it's some Mountain Dew in that glass.
I guarantee you it's nothing but Mountain Dew.
Hold on.
Guarantee you that. I'm scared of the punishment.
Ooh.
So anyone else want to speak on the two-parent?
A red cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you
We got
know
a solo cup.
Hobart, because listen, two parents, Hobart. Sometimes you are a single parent with two parents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes, one parent may or may not want the responsibilities of the other,
Mm-hmm.
of rearing the children, and may be absent in the household, absent in the marriage, absent in the relationship, absent in the bonding, absent in the nurturing, absent in the modeling. Come on, somebody. Come on,
Absent,
somebody.
absent,
Give it to
absent.
me. I need a keyboard there. Come on, Eddie. Give me the drum.
I got it in the closet.
Come on now.
She
Absent.
got me crying over
So
here.
therefore, the two relationship or the two parent, what does that mean? That simply means biological part of that whole, equation. Don't give me no two nothing. I don't need nothing but two slices of bread, and that's only on a good day when I want more carbs.
Yeah.
So that means what? That's sometimes the Brady Bunch, an ideal. I was blessed to have that. I was blessed to have both parents active, but that's when there's an agreement on that is how we're rearing our children together, and honoring the union that God gave us and responsibility that God gave us as the parents of this, of these children. But yeah, just because two people in the household don't make them both parents.
Right.
That makes them a mother and a father. And I even said that in having my children, that the oldest one made me a parent, the second one made me a mom.
Mm.
Amen. Because you learn different things, you slow down, you get
Right.
it right. One may have had blue sock or red sock. Then by the time I got to, on down the line with the rest of the children, hell, I just glad you got on socks. Y'all better leave me alone. They clean. Well, what? They clean. You better come on here. I'm walking out the door. I'm walking up to you, but hey. So there you go. And then don't look at your father. Your father be like, the garage is down and you running while the car's rolling. So come on, somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all, and then you find out at the end of the day that love is all that matters.
Yeah.
So that's where you go. Facts.
All right. So look,
That part.
we got a question on the screen. I think. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
That's for you, Dr. EMP Campbell Smith.
What's wrong? Do you say something? Okay, so when you see something that is not right. Oh, I most definitely. I mean, yes. If you notice something is not right, or who's been misdiagnosed, or if it's wrong, I would. Especially, this is your doctor. This is someone. And we're human. I hate to say it, and it's as a provider. If you miss something or you misdiagnose something, I can speak for me, and I pray all the time. And I'm not just saying this because I'm on here. Like, I want to keep my compassion and my empathy. I really care if I feel like I missed something. Like, any of my patients who've ever been sick, or if they get admitted to the ICU, it bothers me. Like, it bothers me. My husband, like, girl, you got to go to sleep. You cannot you can't worry like that, you know. But yes, if you notice something is not right, it's always a way to say stuff. Like they say, it's not what you say, it's how you
That's
say
how
it,
you say it.
Yeah.
you know. So definitely don't ever, it's your health at the end of the day. It's your health. So if something is wrong or misdiagnosed, I would say, you know, excuse me, give them the situation and say, hey, blah, 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 blah. I would.
I know another thing as it relates to our health. It's important that we have a relationship with our doctor too, because I can remember whenever I was first diagnosed with high blood pressure, and we were trying to figure out what medication to use. It was important for me to dialogue with my doctor, saying, "Hey, look, this makes me feel this way. That makes me feel this way. This makes me go to the bathroom a lot. This, you know, so that so we have to be equal partners in trying to help our health.
Oh, yeah.
For our health. So and the good thing about it is we have a bunch of different mediums in which we can do that now. Because back when I was diagnosed a while back, it was hard to get through to him via calls, but now we have MyChart and all those different things
Right.
that we can go back and forth with our doctor for him to have a full understanding of what it is that we got going on, how these drugs make us feel, and so forth and so on. So we really, don't be afraid to speak with your doctor and let them know what's going on with you, so we could get it right.
That's true.
Okay, so our next topic as we move forward, man, that was a great conversation started by Grayson Girl 1. As her question was, how do we stop all the mass killing and gun violence across the country? And so now, as we move to the next question, which is going to come from Brother Chad, hit us with it, man. Hit us with it.
So the topic that I wanted to talk about kind of piggybacks off our first subject, our first topic is, we have school about to begin for some people, or, some people don't want to think about it. I know it's
Come
about
on,
to happen.
man. Don't do that.
All of the school supplies out there. Whenever all the school supplies out, we know that it's around the corner. So, as a result of, some of the school shootings that we've had recently, many districts are going to be implementing new policies as it relates to school security. As parents or as a panel, what are some of the things that you wish to see or from your districts, your administrators, or some of the things that should be emphasized as it relates to school security? Because I know we all, we want our children to be safe, to come home the same way that they left. So I just wanted to open that up to the panel. Hey, what are some of the things that you see or some of the things that you wish as it relates to school security?
Well, what I'll do is I'll speak as a parent and not as a teacher now. For me, honestly, man, it's because I got to make sure I put on the right hat when I say this, because the only thing I would like to see is just a speedy recovery, just a speedy response. Because the truth is, one SRO officer, one security coordinator, 1,000 kids, it's not enough anyway. So I have to be realistic in what I expect is going to happen on that campus. So I actually have conversations with my son, just about, things that seem weird or out of place, to make sure that he lets his teacher know. And we haven't had that happen, but it's something that, because I've been in the system 17 years and then also kind of got a hood card too, it's just being aware of your surroundings, and if something seems out of place, don't be afraid to say, hey, Miss such and such, somebody just went in that door, or just whatever. Try to just give them examples, and not to make them paranoid, anything like that. It's just really just his awareness. But then also at the school, I mean, when you're walking in, no adult can walk through the building without signing in. What else can we do? You got to sign in at the front. You got to state, why you're there. And then if you're not the parent, they got to go on and they got to check, if you're on the list. Did I put, as a parent, did I put this person on my list, to see my child? So there are things in place. But like I told y'all before, I can't go to, looking on the outside and looking for them to do something to help or to change or anything like that. Is, everything starts on the inside. Like I said, your influence at home, who you're hanging around, what you're listening to, what you're learning, how to respond. It's up to individuals. Like the speed limit is 45, but that sign don't make you go 45. You got to choose to go 45. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's just one of those things that for me, trying not to, cross over both hats, but ultimately, I think the schools overall do a decent job. When you get up to to a high school with 2,000 kids, it's an open campus. It's just one of those things that working together. Our security is not, our coaching staff is very, very, very involved in the security of the school from a standpoint of where we are on duty posts, lunchtime posts, just being aware. Like as a PE teacher, I'm going out to the football field, to the baseball field, to the weight room, and just always just having our eyes open. And that's the only thing we really can do. So I don't know if there are any policies that you could put in place to assist that. It's just the people got to care enough to pay attention.
Right.
Wait, then April.
I muted myself. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, like you said, I think, and I really it's puzzling my brain with the most recent shootings they had. But I know one thing, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, we have got to teach our children to be more aware of their surroundings. And I'm saying this because I have a 16-year-old, and I'm on her because when she has that phone, somebody could knock her off. I live in some, I hate to say a bad area, but I lived in a bad area in Jackson, Mississippi. I lived in a bad area in Baton Rouge. So I know you just don't pull up to the ATM and put your card. You have to be looking. You have to be mindful of everything around us. Even same principle with school. Like you said, if you see something that's out of place, if you see something that's different or whatever, we have to teach our kids to let someone know. That is not that you're just in this little bubble. I tell my daughter, you just need a flower. All she needs is a flower on her ear and just walk around in La La Land, because she doesn't pay attention to anything around her. And she's 16, getting ready to go off to college in a couple of years. And I'm like, I got some work to do. I've noticed this with all of my nieces and nephews, though. They all are like that. I don't know if it's just the technology that has them so consumed. But that could be a big thing to help with all of these shootings and all that, in my opinion, just to piggyback off what you said.
I want to know, is everybody just going to look over the fact that Coach E said he had some hood credits?
I think all coaches do. All coaches.
Man, look here. I was church boy, but God doggone it, I grew up around all that mess.
But I'm always the one with the scripture. Let's go back to Meditra saying, just because it's two parents in the household don't mean that that's going to put any influence on the kid. And scripture says in can't think of the name of the book, 3:3. Amos 3:3. How can two walk together except they be in agreement? So it can be two parents in the household, it can be four parents in the household. If they ain't on the same page, the same wavelength, like Anise said, it don't really matter.
You can forget it. It's a wrap.
It's just a wrap. It's out the window. And then once kids reach a certain age, they don't hear nothing no parents say. Man. They hear and see what they friends. It's not gonna come back
to them for another 6 years.
What they friends say and do.
Okay,
and then to come back to Chad's question, man, my kids are about to be 39, 29, and 27. They're going to kill me. But what I learned was each one of them were different. I didn't parent either one of them the same. What worked for this one didn't work for that one. What worked for that one definitely didn't work for the last one because she ain't want no smoke. She was telling on herself, and the other kids say she got to be telling on us too. That was her mentality was, if I just tell on myself, I'm gonna save myself a lot of time. But one thing I always installed in him was pay attention to what's going on, and you don't have to be like everybody else.
Right.
It's okay to be what they say square. It's okay to
Right.
be different because you were created different. The Bible says that we were created in the image of God. And I always tell my kids, out of 1 million people in the whole wide world, there's only one you. And so there's nobody like you. And so what you're destined to do, nobody else can do it. And when we talk to our kids, we got to remember to talk to them, not at them.
Yeah.
They're people with their own mindsets, their own opinions, and they're going to grow up and realize I ain't got to do what they said. Oh, man, they got me bent. And so they're going to go out about their own way, and they're going to do what they do. But there's one of my favorite scriptures that says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart. And so whatever you put in them, you got to trust that it fell on good ground and that you're going to get a return from it, because no farmer, I say this all the time, plants a seed and don't expect nothing to grow. So whatever I've put in them, I'm expecting my return. And one of them need to hit millionaire status soon because I'm ready to retire.
Anise, are you listening?
She's on mute.
She on mute.
All right, so
I know one thing I wanted to say, this upcoming school year, there's going to be some things that's going to be implemented, parents, and you may not always agree with everything that might be implemented. You may not even understand why it's being implemented that way, but trust, I would hope that you trust and you believe that whatever the situation or policy that's being implemented is done for the safety and the welfare of your kid so that they could get a quality education wherever it is that your kid goes.
Okay, I'm off mute. I'm sorry, Brother Hobart and team.
Oh, it's all good. So Chad question is about security in schools and what's too much or what's too little. How do we keep the schools safe and secure in today's, 21st century?
I don't think that there is anything too much or too little. I think that too little would be not paying attention to everything that has been going on in our society to date. I think that we ought to pay attention to the signs that are happening right now. And I think that they've happened so we can pay attention. I think that we need to implement new policies and new procedures. I think that it's not enough to have metal detectors and wands only in cultural or our neighborhoods, Black and brown neighborhoods, when it's happening in all neighborhoods. I think it's unfair and it's unjust. I think that justice needs to roll down, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, and it needs to be equitable in all neighborhoods. Because if we find, we look at, I think about how my mind was just blown when Columbine shootings happened. That didn't look like me. Didn't sound like me, look like me, act like me. And when I think about it, here we are, the last shooting of young innocent people. I'm like, those were brown bodies, but it wasn't committed by I'm going, what's going on? So is there too much or too little? Absolutely, there's too little, and there needs to be more, but it needs to be across the board.
Gotcha. So I I just wanna run a little story by everyone that I encountered with a kid in the Atlanta area. Um, right as spring football was starting, he got suspended for being in an unauthorized area, and he was like, "Well, I didn't even want to go down there. I just went because the girl wanted me to go." Well, didn't you know you weren't supposed to be there, man? Had somebody else got in trouble about this already? Yeah. Well, why'd you go? What, you thought you was special? You thought that it wasn't gonna be you? It was, and that's why what happened happened. So again, I always say this as well. If something can happen, it generally will, and it will be you that it happens to. If you think it won't, just do it and see how it works out. I guarantee you it will not be favorable for you because it wasn't favorable for the last person that tried it.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, that's Chad. And our final discussion for tonight is one that really saddens me.
I thought it was mine.
Oh, I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry. Go.
Did you?
She
He gonna
she
blow me
popped up
off
there
the
quick.
finale?
Saying she popped up there quick, boy.
I knew he didn't think he was getting off that easy.
He gonna quit me. Wait. Let me just get this straight. He gonna quit me for the finale?
You see how you do,
No,
right? You see
I
how
He
you
gonna quit me
do,
for the
Ray?
you know
finale?
what?
Uh-huh.
Generally,
I'm
One good
standing
eye.
outside in the rain.
generally, generally, you are a very communicable person, and you'll hit me and say, "Hey, this is going on, that's going on." But when you black out and you mute out, I'll be lost.
That means that
I
I'm
ain't gonna lie.
doing something, but that means that I care about the program,
I already
and I
know you
care
care about the program
enough to
because
be.
you're in
Ho.
you're in
See, you
Ohio.
do know. You know what? I care, and I care enough to still be a part of my team. And Brother Collier is right here too, but he
Hey,
working.
let me see my big
Don't
bro.
y'all hear that whip? Don't y'all hear that whip?
He
Don't y'all
cracking
hear
it.
that whip?
Not
Did you
Don't y'all hear
switch
that
on
whip?
me?
not Alfred.
Okay, I gotta wait till he come back in the room. Oh, hold on. They want to see your face for a second. Call you. I told you you were close by. Just come on, stop walking for a second. You won't stop walking. I'm gonna have to catch him on the other side. Anyway, he said he busy. He working. So anyway, mine is as others. Okay, hold on. Y'all catching while you walking. Okay. So as he's talking, y'all kind of all right.
That's how we act at
Okay.
Alfred. Come on, man.
Yeah. So as we talk about and think about, as we talk about and think about self-care and those things that make us whole and make us better, and we think about as we think about those things that give us a better quality of life. How empowered are we really to use the word no, and how much does our society honor the word no?
Can you repeat that, please?
In the vein, if you will, of self-care and taking care of ourselves and being good to ourselves and honoring our being and knowing that it's important that we put ourselves first. And I'm going to add a little bit more to this. In fear of or in light of exhaustion, the need to relax, relate, and just rejuvenate and recharge. How much does society really honor our no ministry, the no, and in light of the need to be good to ourselves? Do they honor no on our jobs when we have too many projects, when we just can't take another student, not because we're incapable or incompetent, but just that we would not be able to do justice in taking care of either another client or another patient. But no, in our home life, when we just can't take on another task, we need to empower those around us to be able to do for themselves. No, in our ministries, when we just can't take on another program, we can't do another outing, we can't do another Sunday, we can't do another this. When we say no to our friends, when we just can't hang out another time, when we just cannot go kick it, we just have to be. What say you?
Who want to start that?
Pick
I'll
me.
jump on it.
April.
Pick
April,
me.
you go. I'll go after you, April.
Man, no has become my most powerful word because how you gonna tell me time out? Flag on the play.
You on mute.
I can't hear him.
Okay.
Said generally everyone checks the private chat when I put something there. If y'all can, please check the private chat real
All
quick.
right, we got you.
All
All
right,
right, we
thank
see
you.
you.
Y'all
Yes,
the
sir.
best. Raven, you know how to check the private chat?
Yes, I'm after Chair.
All right, appreciate it.
So,
Okay. Is that for me?
You're last, sis. Anise, you're last.
Okay. So what about this discussion? I'm sorry.
No, we're in the discussion. That's the order.
I get it. I get it.
Because I know you
I get
still
it.
got something you want to get.
I can talk now.
Yes, you can talk in the midst of my discussion. I don't understand that whole thing, but okay. Yes, you may. So I'll say April, and then Coach, and then Chad, and then Raven. And then you know what, Raven, we're so fluid that we allow things to just go. So it may come out of that order, but right now we'll
It
start
don't
with
matter. I
April.
can flow, baby.
Okay.
So I'm going to say again, no used to be one of the hardest words for me to say. But when no began to affect April, then April had to learn how to let everybody else figure out stuff for themselves. Can y'all tell our host no means no? So, because he ain't quite learned yet. But people will take advantage of your yeses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it costs you. It don't matter if it's your job, if it's your friends, if it's your family, your cousin, your brother, your uncle, them, they will take advantage of your yeses, especially if your heart, I heard Ms. Raven say earlier, she is very empathetic and sympathetic towards her patients to the point that she be at home trying to figure out what she can do to make it right. That was me. I was carrying everybody's weight on my shoulder because I had to figure out how to get them a yes.
Yeah.
How to make it right for everybody else. And boy, my little health was dwindling down. And I think it probably wasn't until last year, maybe my kids, they be texting me and stuff while we're on the show. You said something earlier and they said, did you hear her? They be like, Ma, you got to take care of you. You spend all your time taking care of everybody else. And so now I've learned how to take stuff and pack it up, you can wait over here till I come back. It's not as important as April is. Because the one thing I realized that when April is gone, everybody else will still be here. They'll still be doing what they've been doing. And they'll find somebody else to do it for them. That's why it's okay to say no, because if you don't do it, they'll find somebody else or they'll figure it out in another way.
That's true.
The ministry of carry on, right?
Right. Carry on smartly, as we say in the military.
Absolutely. Hit that corner. Whoo. All right. Brother Eddie.
Yeah, I think he got Chad Nix.
Yeah.
Brother
So
Chad.
this
Okay,
is
excuse me.
Yeah.
this is something that I'm beginning to learn. And not because I have anybody else pressuring me or influencing me to say yes all the time. It's because I have several different interests. You know, a lot of times when you have several different interests and you want to see some things through, you take on a lot of stuff that hey, you start burning that candle at both ends. And I think it's because of an experience that I had with a situation. Actually, when I was living in Chicago, I was coaching with this guy in the inception of a program, and I left. Had a career change, or actually not a career change, but a venue change. I changed to a different city, and uh, and the program flourished. It's blossomed into something great. And I said to myself, I always, from now on, I want to stick with something to its completion. And so I think it's from that experience that I always was like, man, you know what, whenever I start something, I want to make sure that I finish. And and two, something else will come along and I feel strongly about it, and then I'll jump into that as well. But sometimes developments happen that cause you to put things in perspective. And so one of the things that's come about in recent years is health. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I need to back off a few things, and take my health a little bit more seriously. And so that has kind of compelled me to say no to things, but it's still tough. It's still tough for that reason. Um, because again, I have this situation where I like to see things all the way to the end. But I think as it relates to, um, to everyone, I don't think it's a bad thing to say no, because you know what you can take on and what you can't, and you know what your priorities and your obligations are. And sometimes, hey, you gotta say no in order to be able to complete the things that you have on your table already.
And that's absolutely true. Thank you so much, Chad, because that's true. You have to think about your responsibilities from the perspective of what worked for you. But oftentimes people put themselves in front of you because you have allowed it, not you per se, but we have allowed others to make themselves a priority in our lives when we're an option in their lives. Coach Eddie?
Okay, I'm trying to.
You're trying to go in how miss the whole
Yeah.
work. Well, I think
I don't,
he
I
had
don't
me
want, I don't want him to say the wrong thing to me, because I'm gonna beat him up. He say something wrong to me.
don't beat him up. I guess I'm supposed to be next, but no, definitely with your jobs and even with your family, they can make you feel bad more about saying no. I can say especially when you're working for someone, because it could be something that needs to be done that you just don't have the time for it. So you go ahead and just say with you guys that's in the school system, you don't have time to stay after to do something for a kid or something, but it's something that could benefit the kid. So you're saying you want to say no, but in your heart, you do something totally different when you're already extended. I'm definitely having to work on saying no, because as Miss Grayson Girl said, people will take advantage of you. They will run you down. So saying no is a big part of just self-love at some point in your life. You have to say no. Because if you don't, you'll end up overworked, your mental health's off. And then if you're no good for yourself, you can't be any good for anyone else. So I think no is that word alone, especially when used appropriate, it is just about self-love for yourself. I love you, but I can't do it right now. And this meaning on your jobs or whatever. We have to prioritize ourselves. And if saying no is what it takes, that's just what we got to stick with and stand on our grounds with it.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is just use, because there's so many different angles, that we can come from. What I'm going to do is just give my experience and what it's been for me. So y'all know we full transparency here. Y'all know I'm open book. I dealt with low self-esteem, low self-worth for a long time, and then that still creeps up depending on the situation. So bringing it up, sometimes we're saying yes, not to please others, but sometimes that yes is gratifying to yourself because you believe you're important to whatever you're obligating yourself to. Am I making sense when I say that?
Mhm.
So what happens is because of what I was struggling with low self-esteem, it made me feel good to say yes. Even though I was tired, burned out, didn't feel like doing it. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So what wound up happening where the reason I bring that up is that as I grew and as I matured, really started to, intentionally peel back and dig and try to become a better man for my wife and son, the answer no became easier and easier. Y'all follow me?
Mhm.
So with that, that's very, very simple in concept, but man, that was very, very hard for me to understand how important it was. Because and I go to a scripture.
Absolutely.
I go to a scripture that says, husband, you leave and cleave. So that means no matter who say they need me, if my wife need me, that's my priority. So my no to somebody else is I'm saying yes to my wife. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times what happens is something as simple as that is made hard because of, relationships that we have, because of emotional obligations we've made ourselves. Sometimes, like I said, for me, having low self-worth and self-esteem, my yes is word because it made me feel good to think that in my mind, I'm important to you because I'm doing something for you. But really, I'm doing it for myself to feel good about me because I'm helping out or I'm doing something. So so that's the thing is that prioritizing our, like you said, our emotional health, our emotional intelligence, and putting things into perspective and prioritizing what's supposed to be for. As a man, my wife is first and my family. Everything that I do I get that right all the time? Nope. But at the core of my being, I understand that's that moral fiber, that moral compass. It's there. Do I ignore it sometimes? Yeah, I've ignored it. Chad, we've ignored it. But ultimately, you gotta have something that's bigger than, like you said, bigger than you. Understand what your role is in people's lives, but ultimately in your own family's life. So even as a wife, when you're a wife, y'all are wives. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand all of your dynamics of how you dictate and say what you're gonna do. But there are times, even for myself, my son and I, sometimes I think about twice a year now, I take my son out of town without my wife. Just so she can sleep. She's a nurse. So sometimes we just leave just so she can sleep. Because sometimes she won't say no to my son. Not being negative, it's just she won't say no. If he needs something, sometimes I just say, boy, I'm right here. I got it. But I want mama to do it. No, I'm gonna do it. Let your mama lay down, So it's just a matter at that time. Sometimes I think women sometimes as wives and mothers, I think there's a nature there that men we cannot feel, that when it comes to your children or your family in general, you're gonna do whatever it takes for them to be okay.
Yeah, right.
But like I said, so that's you got to find that balance when it's time to say, baby, mama needs to rest. I love you. So like I said, that's my story for me. It stemmed from low self-worth while I was saying yes. And it made me feel good. But then, like I said, as I grew in emotional intelligence, I'm able to say no. And guess what, y'all? I love saying no now. I love it. That's my piece.
Okay.
Brother Holbert.
So for me, I still have not gathered how to say no to the wrong people. I've spent a lot of time, effort, and energy doing things for others that wouldn't stop to take a moment to put a bandage up to my brain if it was half my cranium was open. And so I saw where Kenyatta Skaggs said, "This year, Mom,
That was one of those sidebar conversations. She said, I just started saying no this year.
So I may need to take her advice on that and start saying no today to some people, because again, it's still times when like I said, I say yes to people that I know aren't gonna give me fruit at a fruit stand. So that's my 2 cents.
But is it that we say no?
One moment, please, Anitra. We have a question from the comment section.
Okay, you have to read it to me. I just took my glasses off.
Oh, it says saying no is easy, but finding out why a person acts is the hard part, and why communication is the key. That's from Aditra J. Saying no is easy, but finding out why a person acts is the hard part, and why communication is key. So that doesn't require. I don't know if that requires an answer more than it was a statement.
Okay, I want to take it as a statement, because I do have a comment that could follow to that, and that would probably take us about another 35, 40, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 minutes. You know, what did you call me and April, the talkers here? I sort of, to like the kids say, to be honest, ask that question from a space and a place of trying to have the panel or posing that to you all to think. I know each and every one of you. Raven, I met you tonight, and forgive me for our first invitation being one of me in action. But I'm usually sitting very, very attentive and very in the present.
Yes.
But everyone here has a very beautiful and tight schedule. And so I asked that question because we say we have a tough, tight, beautiful, no ministry. And I'm looking at everyone on this panel, and I believe that at some point, each one of us on this panel, no game, is improving and can be improved. Would you all agree? If you're on mute, say,
oh yeah,
wave your hand.
I agree.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I pose that from the space and the place of love. You know what I mean? And for this to be our finale and go into our break, and think about where we are in terms of actually saying no, and no from the space of I love me more. And having just attended my cousin's funeral, 52, and he passed of an asthma attack suddenly. And and the irony of an asthma attack, needing another breath. Oh my God, needing another breath. And think about how many times we've not said no, but we've said yes. And we've given away a breath that we could have breathed in, the breath of life. And yes, God knows everything we need. He knows everything we have need of. But just sometimes He's maybe quicken our breath, or maybe sometimes He sat us down in order for us to catch our breath when we could have saved our breath by simply saying no. Food for thought. Hobart. Can you hear me? You're on mute. Or you're on mute, or I'm off.
I know I was on mute. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Thank you for the great question about self-care for yourself. And self-care for you doesn't mean that you're not thinking of others in spirit and in truth or in love. It just means that sometimes you have to take care of yourself first. Statement from Christian Minor. Thank you, Christian, for your statement. If you're going to say yes to someone, just make sure you're not saying no to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably me, Christian.
Yeah.
Yourself meaning who you are as a person and to the man above. Amen.
Hey, that's one of my former players just graduated from airline this year. That's my rock right there.
That's what's up. That's
That's
what's
my
up.
rock.
Appreciate you. And then Christian also said, shout out to my guy, Coach Hamilton.
That's my
He's
dude.
my guy too, Christian. I'm glad we're in agreement on that.
That's my dude. Love you, Christian, man. Proud of you, man.
Hey, so our final topic for tonight, it's one that's been troubling me since it all went down, and it's probably not going to be. It's probably more commentary than anything else. But after what I finish saying, what I'm going to say, if anyone has any comments and or remarks, then please feel free to share your comments and or thoughts. And so my topic is on Brittany Yvette Griner. And so I'm going to give you a little bio on Brittany Griner before we get into it. Born October 18th, 1990, 31 years old, a native of Houston, Texas. And this is from her wiki bio. Awards she's won: Best Female Athlete, ESPY Award, Wade Trophy Award winner, John R. Wooden Award winner, and more. Education, 2009 to 2013, Baylor University. And then she attended high school at Chester W. Nimitz Senior High School. She's also been a guest on the WNBA on ESPN. And so let's go to this part right here. And this is coming from the TexasTribune.org. TexasTribune.org. It says, let me make sure I'm on the right one. Hold up one second. Okay, so I'm going to start here first. I'm sorry. SI.com. Everything we know about Brittany Griner's ongoing detention in Russia. So it says on Thursday, Mercury Star Center, Brittany Griner, I still don't think this right, pleaded guilty to hashish oil for bringing hashish oil into Russia, where she's been detained since February 17th after being arrested at an airport outside of Moscow. According to Reuters, Griner told the judge, "I'd like to plead guilty, Your Honor, but there was no intent. I didn't want to break the law." In what was the second hearing of her trial, Griner added she would give her testimony at a later court date. I want to pause there for a second, because this is a very serious issue that could cost Brittany Griner at a minimum 10 years of her life, and possibly more. And so in today's game of professional athletics, we know that a lot of athletes use marijuana or use tincture oil or the little edible things. And I want to start with this. Since we know that that's happening, And I am by no means advocating drug use. I am by no means advocating drug use. But since we know it happens, and the people that are running these professional organizations know that no matter whether it's a ban on marijuana or whatever, they know that these people are still going to use these products allegedly. And so with that being known, if you have a professional athlete, one that's especially playing outside of the country, why don't y'all have handlers to get these people this stuff? Or why didn't someone tell Brittany Griner to mail that stuff back instead of carrying it on her person? And how did they know that it was in her luggage? It's a lot of questions behind this or amidst this. So in the process of this, we have a person that has shown to be head and shoulders above other female basketball players that play in the WNBA and abroad, because before there was a WNBA and they just celebrated their 25th anniversary of the WNBA. So, again, if we know these things are going to happen, why aren't these players who have to go abroad more protected? It's no way that you pay the tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars for these athletes to come to your country to play, and you're not protecting them or your investment. I don't understand that to save my life. And even not just here, not just abroad, even here. Why are you guys as professional female athletes, why are you guys as professional male athletes going out and purchase illicit drugs that will get you sent to jail? Because in most states, they're not legal. And there are still 15 countries where the possession of drugs are illegal. And that's not just if you're an outsider visiting or on a work visa. It's even more harsher for the people who live in these countries. So what do we do? What do we do? Again, I'm talking about this for a selfish reason. I'm a Brittany Griner fan. I have been since she made her debut at Baylor. It's really hard to see this young lady imprisoned in a foreign country, no family. She can't see or talk to her wife. It's a harsh situation. How do we get past all of this and, again, protect our investment? And so I want to just real quickly and real briefly read from the other post from the Texas Tribune, texastribune.org, where it says Griner could be sentenced to 10 years in prison. The Houston native recently wrote to President Joe Biden begging him not to forget her and other detainees and saying that I'm terrified that I might be here forever. Again, she only had an oil. There's a punishment with the crime. Even if it's zero tolerance on drugs, she didn't have heroin or powder cocaine or crack cocaine or methamphetamines. She had a oil oil. It was an oil that I'm not a physician, nor did I stay at a Holiday Inn last night. But I'm sure she's using that because she's beat her body up since she was 11, 12 years old. The punishment is not going to fit the crime here. And not only do I feel this way, it's a lot of other people who feel this way who may not say anything.
And how to handle my final expenses. Thanks to Colonial Penn Life
So
Insurance Company.
I don't know if she was set up, but she's in a situation where she needs all of our support. She needs
Let me say,
all of
can I
our
say
support.
something?
Sure.
I think, hold on. Okay, that's not my phone. I think, and I don't know all the details, but I was reading a little bit about it. I think the timing with her being there is a big part of it too. With everything that's going on in Russia and Ukraine, that I think they're using her, and this is only my personal thoughts, whoever hears this, that they know how important she is, especially to the WNBA, to the United States. And it's like a bargaining piece. That's why they holding on to her, because if anybody knows the history with the United States and Russia, we've never had a peachy cream relationship. Just never have. So you get a high profile athlete over there. That's a bargaining piece. And it does need to be something more protection for athletes. I was vaguely listening to another podcast, and they were saying how a lot of the athletes, they even have, the money is so good, that's why they go, but none of them really enjoy going to Russia because of that, because they already know that, the language barriers, of course, and again, I just think with her, it's a whole political thing. I hate, not the whole thing, but I think a big part of her still being there, just political, bad timing with this whole war, and they're going to try to juice it. We know 10 years for some oil. I mean, I'm all for medical marijuana, medical whatever. I'm pro that. But to me, it's just the timing with everything. So now they have this piece, and they're gonna, juice it till they can't juice it anymore. In my opinion.
I agree with that, Raven, 100%. That a lot of them detaining her did have something to do with the Ukraine situation, and it's a horrible situation because innocent people are over there dying. Like, people are literally losing their lives, and so I've never been a person that was pro-war or pro-killing, be it here at home or abroad.
Right.
So much so that I don't even believe in guns, and that's probably not good for me to say, but it's just the truth of what it is. And people say guns don't kill people. Bullcrap. The bullet that comes out of those guns are real. Now, it may be an idiot holding the gun, but it's the bullet what killed them. If not, people will use words. Oh, they do use words to kill people. That's called destroying their character.
Well, this is what I'll say, and from our side of it, of course, I don't think anybody's opinion here is going to be wrong. It's just going to be different perspectives. Like the young lady in the chat says here, if we pay our players enough over here, they won't go there. Which can very well be true. I don't know if that's true. If they made more money here, who's to say they still won't go there to make more money? Because that's what people do. They use their talent to make more money. So it doesn't mean that it will stop them from going if they had bigger contracts here. Because me personally, I don't believe for 1 second that there's not enough funding to pay them better. So I don't believe that, because somebody at the top is always the billionaires or the billionaires. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's on that end. But ultimately, for me also, she's been playing over there forever. My question is, Has she
Yes.
been doing it? You know, because if she's been doing it, you see what I'm saying? Knowingly or unknowingly, that really does bring this situation into question. If they can go back and trace history and said she's always been using this oil, you know, for whatever reason that she's using it for, you know, to go back and trace that, I'm sure that will come out at some point in time. Then y'all brought up the stuff going on in Ukraine. You know, so it's a hostile, you know, climate over there. Me personally, I wouldn't have gone the rest of this year. You know, that's me. And I mean, I'm being silly when I say that, but with everything that's going on, I wouldn't travel overseas right now. That's just me. But the other part for me is this, is I always tell my players as a coach, because I do set a standard for them. But this is what I tell them. If you do what you're supposed to do, I got you. Period. I will go to bat if your history shows with that teacher in that situation that, you know, because I want all my players to sit in the front of class. You know, want to make sure they're involved. Have a working relationship with their teachers. Like I communicate with them on how they should communicate with their teachers to function. So what I'm saying is that if it shows, the history shows that you're doing what you're supposed to do, I can fight for you. And then if you're a first time, you know, offender, if I have a guy that he gets in trouble one time, you know, that's out of usual character, then I'm going to dig into it and I'm going to do my research. I'm asking questions, you know, to find out what took place on why did he get out of character. You see what I'm saying? So with her in this situation right now, we want her home as an American. But I believe that, you know, right now, because they're saying if it was LeBron James, he'd have been back home. Well, that might be true. That might be true. But my thing is right now is that, yeah, we want a home, but I believe that once the due process is done, whatever they're doing, she pleaded guilty. The word is that they're talking about doing a swap. But they say we have some Russians over here, and they have Brittany Griner, like you said, they got her. So it's like it might be a swap that happens. You know, we send some Russian prisoners back over there, and they send Brittany Griner back. So I'm hearing that as well. So I think the biggest thing for us right now, it's a unique situation, but we just got to be patient. Because let's be honest, in America, we're not patient.
Right.
That's not us. That's not our culture here. You know, we just don't. We want stuff when we want it. Because the bottom line is that, of course, I feel for her, but I'm assuming that with her playing years over there, that she knows policy there. You know, but like I said, if she's been getting away with it, I understand. You know, she probably was comfortable. But if she knew policy and understood that she shouldn't have it, you know, then that's on the other end, because we don't know. So I can't sit here over here and make this blanket statement and say she did this and she knew better. I can't say that, because she might have been getting away with it for the last 8 years. But ultimately, I just think we just have to have patience in the situation, and just let it do out. She's not. I don't believe she's gonna wind up over there 10 years. That's just me. I don't believe. I just believe that right now we just got to be patient and let everything play itself out. And when she gets home, you know, man, thank God she's home, and let's not cross that line. Ultimately,
Right.
for me. So, just we gotta be patient, y'all. Just, you know, pray for her mental health. Pray that while she's there, you know, that she continues to be strong and to, you know, just try to be positive. Like I said, hey, look, I'm not in her shoes. I could be empathetic and try to put myself there. I understand there's a lot of fear involved, but I'm gonna say what I know. For me, I want every soul to be saved. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she knows Jesus or not. If she do know him, get stronger with him. If she don't know him, she need to get to know him right now, so she can have some peace of mind during this situation. And let's be patient and believe that she's going to get back home.
Amen. Amen to that, brother.
I know as
Anybody else?
yeah, I know.
Oh,
I
I didn't
have
realize
some
my.
questions.
Huh?
Go
I know I
ahead.
have some
Go ahead,
questions
Chad.
about. I know I have some questions about some different things as it relates, because the information comes out sporadically and everything. But I know one of the things that hasn't been in all the reports that I've read, there hasn't been a stance that's been taken by the team that she plays for in Russia. And I'm curious to know, why they haven't put out a statement, or why they haven't, or if they have, because we don't know, have they been helping her, with her legal issues? Because from what I hear, she's played there for several years for the same, league or team for several years, and has made a good bit of money playing there. And is it a situation where this team or this league does not want to go against, the Russian government? Because
Oh, we too soft
we
tonight. We too soft tonight. Chad, she's not a Russian. She's American. Y'all knew I was gonna come out
But
sooner or
that's
later when
not-
I got
but that's-
secondary,
but that's-
right? Somewhere to sit.
but
She's
that's
not
not
a
it.
Russian. She's an
But what I'm saying
American.
is, but they've been leveraging her talents to make money. So what I'm saying is, if I had a league and I had this superstar from another country, and this superstar has gotten in trouble, I would be behind this person who's making money for my league.
Mm-mm.
And so,
All right, so
why hasn't the league?
She's a
why
paid
hasn't the league
employee.
stepped in?
all right, so Chad, I
Paid
gotta say,
employee who's brought negative light.
this to you, Chad. Okay,
She's
that's
American.
that's an Americanized thought process.
Yeah, she's
Man,
a
they don't
filthy
care.
American.
Right.
They don't care, man. I talked to a pro athlete 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, and they said, and I've heard this several times. They say those pro teams over there are owned by the mafia. Those guys
Yeah,
are
she's
underground
a filthy
drug.
American.
I mean, I'm telling you,
Right.
man, those guys that own, it's not America. Like we are Americanized, man, and they don't care. All they gonna do is pay the next one, because it's and I'm telling you, literally 2 weeks ago, I sat face to face with a pro athlete. He was just like, man, the mafia run those teams. The government don't care. They're not involved. That
Yep.
league, all that stuff there, that's underground money. That's how it goes. So when it comes down to our government system and how we think here, bro, they don't care, man. They don't care.
Another one. Would you tell him, Eddie? Another one like the other.
And that's just it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, even with that being said, again, like I know two mafias care about their money, you know. So, like I said, if the
But
mafia
it's
is in
not
cahoots with the
enough
government,
money.
then, okay, now
It's
I know.
not enough money.
Huh?
It's not enough money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not
Right.
enough money.
Okay, Chad, for
Right.
your edification, this is a
Come
note.
on, come on, come on,
This
come on.
is a
come
note
on,
that was
come on.
on Twitter from the Phoenix Mercury. We are aware of and are closely monitoring the situation with Brittany Griner in Russia. We remain in constant contact with her family, her representation, the WNBA and NBA. We love and support Brittany, and at this time, our main concern is her safety, physical, and mental health, and her safe return home. Period.
Right.
Period.
Well, I've
In
seen
other words,
reports
that's
about
it.
her
So-
team here in America, but none from the team in Russia. That's what I was
That
saying.
is the-
So, like I
that
said, I
is
was
the team.
curious to know.
Isn't that
No,
the
the
team
Phoenix
in
Mercury
Russia?
is in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
oh, okay.
But
Oh,
again,
oh.
Chad, this is what maybe you're not getting, is that Brittany Griner is an American.
Right, she's an
And
American.
the team
Russia
that
don't
pays
care
her the
no.
Right.
most money spoke out.
Right, Russia don't care. You like a wet noodle. They can toss you. When do I get my turn? When do I get my? We too quiet tonight.
Oh my
It's the
goodness.
last night. Bring it home.
So,
Bring it home.
one last
Bring
one
it
last
home.
thing. One last
Come on.
thing.
Come
One last
on.
thing.
Come on,
I
Cletus.
just
Come
wanted
on,
to-
Cletus.
The last thing
There we
I
go.
wonder
Bring me some.
is who does Brittany Griner personally have on her team, her advisement team, as it related to advising her to go play in Russia, and what was the rules of engagement? Who does she have advising her?
We don't know who her
with
handlers
all
are.
the things that she does.
Oh, that could have
Right.
changed over the years, Chad.
Yeah.
How many years ago did she start playing in
Yeah.
Russia?
It's been
When the
10 years.
WNBA was making what, $5 an hour?
Right. But
WNBA was making $5 an hour.
it doesn't matter her Helen's work because she's detained right now. And that's the primary problem is that she's detained right now. She's got 10 years beating up on her back right now. Right now.
What had happened, all that stuff don't matter. What they say, all we got is right here, right now. And sing that song. Hobart the lyricist for the night. Come on, what's the lyrics to that? Who wrote the lyrics to that song?
What song, sis?
All we have is right here, right now. Come on, somebody help me. I can't.
I don't know nothing about no trap music.
It's not trap. Oh, how you gonna?
We lost Denise.
What in the world? Is she driving?
Yeah, I don't know where she going.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Sure.
And this ain't just in regards to Brittany Griner. I don't think I care about this situation one way or the other one. I care about people in general. I'm
There you
empathetic to her situation. But
Yeah.
she ain't the first, and she definitely won't be the last.
Yeah.
These mega superstars who we give so much thought and time and energy to, been doing this for years. And the people who ought to be caring about them is the ones who they giving all their millions of dollars to, because they ain't giving it to me. If they gave it to me, I'd tell them, get your little butt somewhere and sit down.
Right.
You're doing too much.
Yeah, that's good.
Everybody don't need to be up and all and around you and in your business like that. That's why they doing it, because they ain't got the right persons in their corner telling them the right thing to do. They got all these yes men that's afraid to say no to what they doing.
There you go.
And how much is too much? Now the NBA ain't paying the women what they do, and I know coming from an athletic perspective, I used to play basketball, y'all. I ran track, I played baseball. I was
Wait a minute,
April.
April.
That's why I'm
April,
right here
April.
preaching the word of
Wait a minute.
God.
Wait a minute,
God
April,
needs
but
some
you
Peters
charged.
and Pauls and
Can y'all
all
hear
them
me?
other persons. So he won't let me be a millionaire. And
Can y'all hear me?
I can't hear.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, but April, you are charged as a child of God to care, to intercede, even when they seem like they've lost their dang blasted mind. You are charged to care. So even though you want to look away from the accident, you have to look towards the train wreck and care. So you have to care. Even when it doesn't make sense to you, even when you ain't got a dime or red hot cent of none of them cointages, you have to care.
Well, I mean, but what all she's saying is, all April is saying is,
I didn't say I didn't care. I said I'm very empathetic and sympathetic towards her situation. But what I'm saying is, where are all these people that she's sharing her money with?
yeah.
If it's illegal, it's
but
legal.
you
And
ain't
I
got
ain't
to-
against people using medicinal marijuana. If the doctor wrote you a prescription for it, by Nurse Raven, if you can write somebody a prescription for it and you feel like it would benefit them, I'm okay with it. I ain't against it. Just because it ain't for me, don't mean it ain't for you. But I want to know where all these people at that she been donating her money to. She ain't donating none to me.
Yeah.
She ain't donating none to my cause or what I care about.
But I see what she's saying. That
No,
the only reason why we talking
get
about it is because it's on the news. Ultimately, there are people over there that are not Brittany Griner that are detained.
That are in the same situation.
And we ain't talking about them. You know what I'm saying?
agree.
So
We don't talk about
so
those
that's
people.
all. That's what April is saying. She's not saying she don't care. She's just saying that we're only being, because we live in an era where the world is shrinking because of we can communicate about stuff. So she a big name. So now they got us talking about Brittany Griner, but guess what? It's something else going on that's way worse than Brittany Griner being stuck in Russia, and we're not trying to be, right here in your own neighborhood. Some
The
child
least,
needs
the
your
last,
assistance.
the lost, the left out.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
hungry.
she got to deal with the choice she made. She just in the news, but I'm around children every day who need me. I'm around my family, so ultimately.
So do you
I
not
hope,
pray for both?
Well, no,
I ain't say I wouldn't even
no.
pray for him.
All it's saying is that I'm not finna sit down and hum on the Chantal for 3 hours over her. Now that's what I'm not gonna do. But Lord, whatever her situation is, Lord, I hope that she has a relationship with you and you give her peace of mind. That's what we worry about. Because peace of mind is what she needs. That's what she needs right now. Because we all got situations that we in that's
The
uncomfortable.
peace that surpasses all understanding,
that's
because
what
I
she
can't
needs.
understand it.
So let me
That's what
ask
she
you
needs.
this. Let me
So-
ask you this. Now, you know what? Can y'all hear me? Because I'm going
Yeah.
through a bad area.
Yeah,
I
we
got
got
a question. So you know what? I'm so glad you brought this up, Holbert, because I got another question.
you.
So now the brothers that end up incarcerated, because I'm going there tonight, because we
Go
going
ahead.
out with a bang bang boogie.
Go ahead.
Now, the brothers that's incarcerated that you're doing prison ministry with, that somehow slipped, tripped, and did some things that put themselves in some vicarious situations that now are, excuse me, locked up, right? Do you not do the same thing and intercede and call on the Most High to intercede on their behalf for things to turn around in their lives? What's the difference? I'll wait.
So I wouldn't say it's no different. I didn't even say I wouldn't intercede on her behalf.
No. I'm not talking about this. Not for you, April. This is not for you. This the shot tie, bow tie man.
He's coming on the Honda. Okay, then. So I want you to just give me the short version of that question again. I heard some of the things, but give me the question again.
The question is, what's the difference between what you're judging Brittany's scenario to be versus what you judge, maybe say, a men's prison ministry to be?
I mean, so first, let me go to there's two different definitions for judging. Okay, so one is I can't judge nobody to heaven or hell. That's one. I can't do that.
Oh, come on.
The other one is if you are apple tree, that's a judgment. I call you apple tree. If you're a liar, that's a judgment. You a liar. You see what I'm saying? So in this situation,
I hear you. I don't see what you're saying, but I hear you.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, there are two different ways. You said I'm not giving final judgment to this situation. My prayer is for her is that while she's enduring this, that she has a relationship with Jesus Christ and she has peace of mind during this trial, and that she gets home safely at some point in time. That's where I'm at with that. Now, me sitting around being concerned about it, bring Brittany home. Hey, we miss Brittany. Bring her home. No, I'm not in that boat. I ain't in that boat. And that's no different from the gentleman. If I'm going to prison ministry and I'm going every week and I'm building a relationship with a young man who, I'm spending time with, that's a relationship. So I'm going to handle that differently because I got a relationship. But ultimately, it's still the same thing with him. My prayer is that you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's the same prayer. It's just the only thing about he's in jail here, she's in jail over there, and they put her news. That's
I think I was muted when I said this before. Say the last part you just said again, Eddie.
Yeah, the only difference between those two is they put
No, I'm sorry, the part before that you hope that she has a relationship with God.
That's with Jesus Christ, man. That's all I can pray for, and that she makes it home
pardon
safely.
Of her sins.
In the pardon
and
of her sins.
that she come home and that they bring her home.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Homer's point is, what was her sin?
Bringing a drug that she knew was illegal to a foreign country. And I don't care. I still want her butt back home.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, Raven, you got a comment, thought, opinion?
Homer,
no.
We much louder than this. We much louder.
but we're good though, because again, at the end of the day,
now that
we talked about 5 really great topics, and I hope that some people were helped, not just by tonight's show, but by the other 10 episodes that we had this season as well. in the midst of trying to make it to 12. Again, we had 1 week where a lot of people were traveling, and we took off for Father's Day. So for me, it's been a really beautiful season 2, but I'm gonna hold my thoughts and opinions till last. And Raven, your thoughts on being a part of this for the first time? Final thoughts, go.
Well, I'm just thank you for inviting me. It's been very informative today. I've enjoyed. I'm already sensing all the different personalities. So I think that it's a good blend, you know. So I definitely look forward to being invited back or routine or however.
Oh
I
no,
said,
you're every week.
oh, okay.
Every week you can make
So,
it. We would love to have you.
okay, so this what Grayson Girl was telling me. This what you was mentioning, Grayson Girl, when you said, "But he don't know about no yet." I got you. I got
Uh-oh.
you.
Near the cross.
But no, I think the topics, everything's on point that we discussed tonight. And just listen to you guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and log off because I'm way after what I thought I was gonna be. But I appreciate meeting you guys. Y'all keep me informed. And to next time, self love.
Hey,
Y'all
look,
need
everyone,
have
real
any
quick.
questions,
Let's
let
give
me know.
Raven her love.
Oh, taking it all in. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed week.
Have a good one,
You
Raven. Nice
too.
to meet you.
All right. Our pleasure.
Nice to
Uh,
meet you.
Grayson Girl 1, go. Final thoughts on season 2.
Man, this has
What were
been
the topics?
all of them. They've been. You know what? It's very seldom Anise and I have a difference of opinion in topics too. This probably was the first.
Right.
We usually be on the same page line.
That's all right.
But you know, that's what makes us who we are, unique. And that's what I like about Life Off the Bench. We different and unique in our own way. But we are one. I said earlier, how can two walk together except they be in agreement? And we are all in agreement that in all we do, God will get the glory. And I really, really don't want nobody to leave the show tonight thinking, man, she be saying all them scriptures and
Oh,
she
no.
was that. That's not me.
No.
And I'm a WNBA advocate, even though I don't have a team. I love Brittany and all the young ladies
Chicago
and what
Sky.
they do. I do pray that she gets home safely. Russia is a whole different world.
Yeah.
And it's not the US of A. My daughter posted, when in render unto Caesar, what's due unto Caesar, and render unto God, what's due unto God. So when you go in their country, you got to do what they say. My granddad used to say, in my house, you're going to do what I say, when I say, how I say it.
Yeah.
And that was the bottom line. And Stone Cold didn't say it either. But this season has been awesome and phenomenal. And I thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of it with you guys. And I'm looking forward to season 3. Who would have thought 2 seasons down?
Yeah.
Chadwick.
Yes, man. First thing I like to say is I'm honored and blessed to be a part of this panel, because this panel is awesome. We're very diverse. We come with different angles of how to think about different topics, and the cool thing about it is that we come to a consensus at the end, because there are, even at different angles, we could agree and disagree about different things, and it's not just some felonious stuff. You know, it's real from different perspectives. So with that being said, I'm just happy. Every year, every season rather, gets better and better. It gets better and better, and the topics become more relevant to what's going on. And whenever it's relevant, guess what? It helps people out. So I'm just happy to be a part, and I'm looking forward to next season.
Coach.
Well, you know, this is my first complete season. You know, I was a guest in the first season, and you know, man, I appreciate y'all bringing me on. This is fun. I ain't gonna lie, this is fun. And besides that, I know because guys, when we're on the show, I'm sending out links to everybody, and we get a lot of positive feedback. You know, from the subject matter, and then also, like I said, I love our blend. I feel like I'm building a new family here with you all. And as time goes on, we become more comfortable with each other and we flowing well. So I'm happy to be here. Now to the audience, for you guys, man, shoot, man, take care of yourselves. You know, keep your family first, whatever that family dynamic looks like. You know, have a center focus. Don't be all over the place. You know why you're getting up every single day. You know why you're getting up every single day, man, and stick to that. Let that be the reason why you make your decisions for whoever your loved ones are. So we appreciate y'all because y'all definitely do not have to tune in. We are growing. I'm looking forward to next season and getting bigger and better. You know, so man, Hobart, man, you know, you got all of us praying for you, Doc. That at some point in time you get some sense. You know, you know, we trying to we hanging on with you, brother. We really rooting for you. That at some point in time, man, that you know you won't be a scarecrow no more.
If he only had a brain.
Pray.
Wow. Okay,
That's my
boy.
dude, hey boy. Hey man, let me tell you something. Meeting you in Baton Rouge, that's been 5 years. It'll be 5 years in December. I met you in Baton Rouge at Madison Prep, bro. And this has really been a God-sent relationship. And man, I appreciate you, Doc. And I'm always pushing you. I always got your back, man.
Facts,
Yes,
man,
sir.
facts. I love you, bro.
Love you, man.
Pastor.
Yes, I'm coming. You know what? For this one, I get to take you and put y'all reach out and touch.
Yeah.
Like that, Ross.
Somebody's hand.
Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Good. I'm good. Like, what's his name? I forgot. Verizon. But I want to say this. I'm truly humbled and blessed to have you all as my family. And to Hobart, without a vision, the people perish. And we have been flourishing much more so, abounding abundantly with your vision in season 2 of Life Off the Bench. And I am grateful to be a part of that. And my husband is too, behind me in the second vehicle. But God is and has shown up and shown out amazingly so. You said 10 shows making it to 12. That means 12 weeks have passed. And I'm just like, really? Because
Wow.
so much has happened this season. Oh my goodness. And I am so happy to have shared that with all of you. And it has just been outstanding. So it's so funny when someone new comes in the mix that you're like, oh, I'm sorry. I please, no, I don't mean disrespect, but oh, I'm sorry. Hope it could, like say something, you're like, really, really, really sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think about all you guys and the commitment of, even though you're moving and doing stuff, it's like, I can't let my family down. I can't let my family down. So no matter what, I want to be here with my family. Life Off the Bench is truly life off the bench. It's like, I got to, not I'm going to do, I'm a part of, I gotta be there with my family on Sundays.
Mhm.
So I gotta be here. And I have grown tremendously so in that I think about what it is I'm going to say, how I'm going to say, and you all stretch me in some way to think about things from different points and different perspectives. And then to be able to, as my grandfather used to say, gnaw on it a little while after through the week and carry me through to whereas when the next Sunday rolls around, I go, okay, I can make the connection. And each week, believe it or not, we connect our own thoughts with the other from the previous week and just how we think. And if we listen to each other, we may learn something. And I'm so grateful for our audiences and how we're growing. So to God be the glory for all that he has done and all that he's going to do. I claim victory.
Hold on. Let's stop. I gotta stop y'all. This your daughter, Miss April?
What?
That's your daughter?
Yeah, that's my oldest.
You better tell her I'm the young person.
I just
on this
told her
too.
in the text message what she talking about. I'm 25.
I don't know what she talking about. Me and Chad, man. We the babies on here. What she talking about?
What happened?
She said we need some young people's perspective too.
I agree. We need some 30-somethings.
I'm 25. What are you talking about?
What y'all talking about?
Hey, so
yeah, when y'all get under 30-something, then I'm not talking about y'all playing around in them box dives.
say this is for Kenyatta Skaggs. If you know a young person that's serious about life from a growth perspective, we advertised for 2 months before season 2 started, trying to find younger people or different people, or however you want to look at it or call it. If that's you,
sometimes 30-somethings get too serious and get a little touchy. They do. I'm not being funny. I'm just being real.
you're not volunteering yourself? Okay, gotcha.
She said she's not volunteering herself.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
don't bring it up if you're not volunteering your services.
Sometimes you have to realize you can't be thin-skinned. I have to say that. I want to say that out loud because stuff we say, you got to leave it on the floor and realize that it's all said in love.
Facts.
So we don't mean no harm.
I guess I'm last. I wasn't playing earlier in the show when I said that I've been emotional about this all week. Again, when you're trying to build something that's bigger than you, it takes a lot of love, energy, babyfying that thing, and the most important part of it is you got to have a great team. I don't think God could have given me a greater panel of people than the ones that we've assembled here on this show, whether it's Shapri, who's going to be back with us from what I heard next season. She just had some stuff going on that was grinding on her back, and we support her. Whether it's Alfred, who was absent tonight, he's a mainstay though, and he loves off the bench, a life off the bench, as much as everyone else. I know this because we've had these conversations. Again, I think everyone said this. Each panelist, along with myself, brings a new, different, but unique perspective to life off the bench. You guys mean more to me than you could ever imagine for trusting me when I came to you guys and asked each one of you to be on the panel. And even after season 1 was over and Coach had been a special guest a couple of times on, I knew we had to get him because I knew what he brought to the table. Season 2 has been really fun, and I was asked to ring up the topics from this season, and so let me try to give them to you guys. Episode 1, I think, was Bloodlines. Does blood really make you family? That was hosted by me. Episode 2 was how to be better with your last $2. Put it in the song. Put it in the song. I'm not gonna lose.
Last $2.
That
Not
was
gonna lose.
hosted by me as well. Episode 3, society modeling appropriate behavior. Don't be a monkey see, monkey do. Coach Eddie caught that one. Mental health. Don't let desperation destroy you. Desperate people do desperate things. That was Pastor. The love we used to share. How does love go sour? That one was by Grayson Girl 1. Domestic violence, the tragedy that leads to a tragic end. That was me. I'm missing a couple, but we had 10. Trust me on that one.
Yeah.
That was about 8, 7 or 8. We
Hey,
had
what's going on?
2 what's going on topics.
Mhm.
And so, man, it's just been really fun. Like, really, really fun. And we talked about a lot of great topics. I'm going to put this out there right now. Chad, you're getting a show topic next season.
Amen.
Period. You got to stop running from it.
Period. You heard him say that?
Period.
He's cool
It's
now.
all
He's
good.
cool.
I
He's
appreciate
cool.
that.
Period.
Again, also next season we'll have on a regular basis attorney Alan B. Davis, ABD Law. He'll come on and bring us points of the law every single week. Next, nurse practitioner Raven Campbell Smith, Premier Wellness and Health. Man, she's gonna be phenomenal. As you saw last night, she's well versed. She's well versed in healthcare. Also, if you are a school guidance counselor, we are looking for a guidance counselor to come on a weekly, bi-monthly basis to tell us things that can help parents and help students become better students.
How much time will they have, Hobart, per segment?
We don't restrict people to time.
How much time will they have per segment, Hobart?
Minimum 5 minutes, but maximum
Thank
10,
you.
I guess. I don't know.
Thank-
I don't know what
That
that
sounds
job
great.
entails.
That sounds great. That sounds great, Hobart.
You know somebody?
No, I just said that sounds very appropriate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but we're flexible. We'll bend the rules till they break. I mean, till they crack. We don't break. We break rules. Rules like limits are meant to be broken. Michael Jordan. I want to thank a couple of people really quick, and I think we need to add this person to the list because they were here with us in season 1, and then I've seen him a few times, his name in the comment section in season 2, and so Bobby Baker, congratulations, you'll be the second person gifted a Life Off the Bench t-shirt. We thank you for your support, as well as Meditra Jones. And guess who else is getting a t-shirt from Life Off the Bench? Because she was here in season 1 as well as season 2, and that is my beautiful niece, Kenyetta Skaggs.
All right.
We thank you guys for being faithful. We thank you guys for being loyal. And I know for a fact, Kenyetta she's shared things about Life Off the Bench, the show topics or whatever it's been. You guys, I'm gonna get back on Facebook by the time season 3 starts. My Facebook got hacked about 3 months ago, and I never thought I could live without Facebook, but I've been at peace.
Yeah.
But now it's time to get back to work and building off the bench sports, building life off the bench. And, you know, again, we had a total of over 20,000 followers between Off the Bench Sports and my personal page. And we just, you know, I just want to continue to grow that. Again, thanks everyone for their love, support, and their opinions. And don't take this the wrong way, but in helping someone, in order to effectively help them, you have to put yourself on the chopping block. You have to put a piece of you right there out in the open for everyone to scrutinize. And that's what we do here every single week in season here on Life Off the Bench. We put our personal thoughts and feelings on the line, and we do it with love. And I don't know if y'all know this, but all these panelists that are here on Life Off the Bench each and every week in and week out, they're grounded by the word of God. They can hit you with a 2-piece or a 10-piece. All you gotta do is say
Hey.
what you want. They'll give it to you gladly. Period. And with that being said, hit them with the.
Can you see mine?
Yes, ma'am.
Man, love y'all, man. Love y'all.
Love to love you, baby.
Keep the text line going too.
Lead with love. Lead
Always.
with love. And so, let me do this because I didn't do this yet. And you know, we normally make all decisions together here on Life Off the Bench.
Okay.
So it is July 10th.
Oh no, let's do that offline.
Yeah.
Offline?
Yeah, offline. You know, I'm past my time, boy. It's
Yeah.
early.
We all pass our time. I got stuff to. Hey,
I already knew what you was going to.
lead with love.
Lead with love.
Yeah,
Be
tell
good
her
to
lead.
yourself.
Hey, does
Be
everybody
good to
know the
yourself.
closing statement?
Which
Get
one?
off the bench.
And get in the game.
Get in the game.
game.
Get in the game.
Now, can we do it together on 3?
All right.
Uno, dos, tres.
Get off the
Get
Get
bench.
off the
Get
bench.
into the
And
game.
get into the game.
Get it.
Hey.
Hey!
In the books. In the books. In
Season
the
2,
books.
you've been great. Up next, Tres.
Hey.